Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Something like that.
Really?
It's pretty horrible.
But the next version of Windows is coming out, I think, is 2009. What's it called? Is it...
Well, you gotta figure... XP came out...
So is Vista the ME?
No.
Is Vista the ME?
I don't think... No.
I like Vista. I use it at work. I think it's fine.
I've used it on 2 laptops and I hate it.
You're killing me.
It just feels wrong. There's too much. It feels too much like a Mac.
No.
Vista?
Bite your tongue. You know, here's the whole experience. Okay.
This is gonna slap you,
Okay.
Duke.
No, okay. So here's the whole experience. So I was, I very much dislike the search feature inside of Windows Vista. I think it's just inherently not good, or as intuitive as I've found Spotlight. For instance, I needed to find an application that I knew was in the path that was being spidered, and it wouldn't find it. I kept typing it in, it kept pulling up emails. I'm like, I'm not looking for freaking emails, I'm looking for the program. So I turned to the Mac, where I also have the program installed, and in here, it was, in fact, what's great, it's the Sling player, which I've talked about before, the Sling Media, the Sling box. And so I typed in on the Vista machine, it couldn't find it. It could not find the application. So I went to Spotlight and I typed in Sling box, and the great thing is that it found Sling player. Now, do you understand what happened there? I typed in Sling box, and it discovered a program called Sling player. It did exactly what I wanted. And even though I typed it in wrong, knowingly...
Yeah, Spotlight, though, it does everything you want it to do, even if you do things wrong.
So, to sit there and to say...
It on either the root path or the what do you call it? Like the metadata on the exe that says who built it or whatever. But yes, I understand what you're saying.
To say, though, that Vista feels like the Mac is just inherently wrong. I mean, it's wrong on so many levels.
I was trying to use it, and like, Internet Explorer now is just ugly in multiple colors and stuff. It's just horrible.
Well, I
don't use it.
I don't use it either. But, like, I was trying to set up a wireless network, and they've got, like, it's all wizardified. I want my freaking menus back and shit. I want to do it like the Windows 2000 way.
I love that, Wizardified.
I just cancel the wizards and just go Tools Options.
Yeah, why can't you just click in like an icon, like in the airport, and just join the network? And it works.
No, I wanted.
That is true. Vista clogged up everything with the network. It's screwy. It takes like 6 clicks. Like, what XP took like 2.
And it tries to name the networks, and it spends like 2 minutes deciding whether there's internet or not. And then it's
at work
that
is a
discover
problem
all
for
the
me.
devices on your network. It's like, I don't
Do you know what's griping me over Vista at the moment? Is trying to get VNC to work.
Oh, see, I had no problems with it.
Nightmare.
I haven't had any issues with it at this point in time. I may need to be looking for a new VNC client. Ultra VNC just looks to have turned to crap in its recent builds, which is really disappointing.
I use Tight VNC.
Tight, yep.
No, I tried to make it work between Mac and Vista, and I wasn't having any luck at all. And eventually, I was hoping to have an XP Vista connection, and one of the other chatters in the room, Mike Linux, pointed me to an application called TeamViewer. It's Dutch manufactured, if you will. Oh my God! And it works with VNC as well. You get the option to work with VNC, but TeamViewer.com I think is the web. And seriously, guys, try it out. I think it's Windows only at the moment, but it is amazing. Like, imagine one click and you can switch around who's the viewer and who's the server.
Wow.
One click.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really.
But I'm only ever connecting to my own computer, so.
Oh well, I'm going to be.
There's never anyone on the other side.
So.
Interesting.
I'm sending an English computer over to China, and it's for one of my wife's cousins over there. She won an award, a journalism award. She's only 17, and she has a very good knowledge of English. But if she gets stuck in something, either myself or my wife can log in and then be able to kind of point her in the right direction. Now it's Vista Basic that's on the laptop with Chinese language support. But the whole idea of TeamViewer or a VNC application was to be able to point to her and talk over Skype and do the remote support for free, basically. We'll be able to see what she's talking about as well, because if she speaks Chinese, my Chinese isn't that great. So I'd like to be able to see what she's doing, because you don't. A person can point at something or have a picture of the toilet on their mobile phone, and when you look at it, you know what they're looking for. So that's really where I'm
Wait, are you drawing a correlation between Windows Vista and a toilet, or was that just a completely obscure? I want to know for my own.
That's subliminal.
I would definitely have to agree to that.
So wait a minute. Now, Datalore, TeamViewer.com. I'm checking it out right now. But you were saying something about them deploying Vista at work, or they're not going to do it?
Oh yeah, that we're not going to do it. And like I'm the IT manager at work, so it's my decision. But I'm not even going to deploy after Service Pack 1 comes out.
Really? So you're waiting for Service Pack 2?
No. I bought a load of new machines and laptops there in March and in August. And they're all XP Service Pack 2 in it. But each and every single one of them needed at least 100 Windows updates after that.
Yeah.
After I bought them. The first thing I do, antivirus. The second thing I do, Windows Update. And
around the time that Service Pack 1 for Vista actually comes out, Service Pack 3 for XP is supposed to come out at some point.
Yep.
When is that confirmed? The Service Pack 3 is coming out for XP?
Yes, they confirmed that it is, just not when.
It's in the works.
Yeah.
But they said that about Service Pack 3.
Actually, I know, but I can't tell you.
Pat knows, so we know that it's going to happen.
I mean, they haven't put Vista on any of the machines in my office because of the GroupWise client. We use GroupWise, Novell GroupWise for our email server.
Yeah, our database application won't work on Vista. And the ironic thing is that Microsoft took over the company, and Navision is the name of the product that we use. They took over the company in 2002, but the version that we have won't work in Vista, so we're stuck with XP. So I'm caught between.
I wouldn't call it stuck. I'd rather have XP than Vista anyway.
I would too.
Well, here's the thing.
Remember when XP came out?
No. You're wrong. When XP came out, no, you're wrong. When XP came out, the only thing consumers had, well, the last thing consumers really had was Windows Millennium Edition, which was just no doubt about it, like the worst thing ever unleashed onto humanity. So they had to. Consumers had almost no choice. Upgrading from, let's say, Windows 98 SE, second edition, to XP was a radical departure, but the issues were not as bad as the issues that people are facing today. Because XP and the NT kernel has been out. It's been out for so long. I mean, even 2000 was tried and true. I think they were at Service Pack 2 or 3, at least by 2. Because I was using 2000. I started using 2000 after I tried Millennium Edition. But the differences between 98 and XP were big, but big in a good way. Like, there was no way anybody could even think about going back to Windows 98 after getting onto XP, no matter what the problem was.
Yeah, but what this was, when people went to Millennium Edition and found that it didn't work, they went back to 98 because 98 would run on exactly the same hardware. In fact, what people ended up doing was, when ME didn't have as much driver support as 98, they went up, and I know, I did it myself. We installed the 98 drivers in ME, and it worked. And it worked better than the ME drivers.
No, when I went to ME, I moved back in like 2 days to 98 SE, and then a week later, I went to Windows 2000, and ever since I've been on the quote-unquote NT kernel. So moving from 2000 to XP was a stable move. It was very, very smooth. I mean, I can't remember half as many driver issues as other people have seemed to remember. But now, since XP has been in the field for 6 years, it's had all these programs developed specifically with XP hooks, etc., etc. Now, going from XP to Vista is just almost as nightmarish as it was going from either 98 SE or 2000, let's say, to Millennium Edition. It's not... I mean, they've done some things differently in Vista that I really, really like and I really appreciate. But they've... Unfortunately, like, now that I've finally got SP1 running on this machine, I did it just to see if I could just pull it off. And, you know, I nearly, you know, cried, you know, to sleep, you know, after doing it. But it's... In running in Service Pack 1 Beta 1, I can't really detect any differences between what I was using before and what it is now. I can tell you this. I'm having more application interoperability problems with Service Pack 1 for Vista than I was in Vista itself. So I'm running into more problems with Service Pack 1. Applications are either crashing, they're not installing properly, security issues. I have to run my web browser Maxton right now in administrator mode, which is not the safe mode. Just because, I mean, again, I know it's beta software, but I've long contended that Vista has been beta. And the fact that Microsoft has come out and OEMs kind of forced their hand on this to basically extend the availability for Windows XP, and they're admitting that they are having problems. They've completely stabbed their power users in the back with the mess that is known as Ultimate Edition. And the only thing ultimate about it is the price. Period. End of story. A language pack is not an ultimate add-on. It's a core feature of an operating system. And anybody who would believe otherwise is...
useless to me.
That's one of the reasons that I'm using TeamViewer is because I can't use it. There's no Chinese LIP and there's no multi-language pack working on Vista Basic or Home Premium either.
That is just... See...
Why can't the home version of Windows Vista, all the home versions, have support for remote desktop so that you can, instead of having to deal with VNC, you can just remote desktop to your computer?
I never liked remote desktop. Remote desktop ticks me off every time because I don't want to log out and log in. Now, I realize that may be more secure, but if I'm on a home network, I don't want to log out of my... Look, I've got a screen resolution of, what, 2560 by 1600? I can't view this screen resolution on another machine, so the desktop settings go all wonky. With VNC, it doesn't happen. I can scale the window. No problem whatsoever. No problem.
Yeah, Real VNC is really nice for that.
Wait till you try TeamViewer.
I'll give TeamViewer a shot.
I swear to God.
I'll try it. If it's VNC compatible, I'll be able to access it from my Macs as well. I mean, you know, and this is the thing. You know, okay, so when XP was released, let's just pretend like this happened. When XP was released, people went back to 98 in droves, which I'm telling you, did not happen. I think there's some revisionist history going on there with people claiming that. People did not move back to 98 in droves. At that time, on the consumer's desktop, there were no other choices for platforms. Really, Linux wasn't even, I mean, it's still nowhere near, even with Ubuntu and whatnot, it's still nowhere near a consumer-grade operating system and platform. Back then, OS X was just starting to get off the ground. Fast forward 6 years later, now not only is OS X a far more stable, far more mature, full-on 64-bit enabled operating system. Still going to have issues, no doubt, but it's now running on the same hardware, same platform as what people have been running Windows on. The price is not all that much different than a comparable PC. I mean, hey, if you want to pay for cheap parts for a PC, be my guest. You probably don't want to run Windows anyway. You want to build all your own crap. Well, my parents don't. They may want to save money, but at what cost? How much does it cost people to buy a spyware subscription or a virus subscription? Or I'm sorry, antivirus, anti-spyware, anti-this, anti-that. It's so the total cost of ownership. The total cost of ownership. People don't calculate. So now, this is what it's upsetting me a lot about the XP versus Vista argument. People are saying, well, just move back to XP or move back to, Vista's working for me, so it should work for everybody else. Well, here's the thing. I now have another choice, and it's known as OS X. That was not a choice for me 6 or 7 years ago. And it is a consumer viable choice. Looking at Leopard, I can tell you, without a doubt, Apple is going to have a good chance at capturing market share, finally. And the gateway may be the iPhone, it may be the iPod, or it may be Windows Vista that turns the tide. Microsoft, in every instance, is his own worst enemy. And I'm not a Microsoft disliker. Microsoft is a big company. They do a lot of things. They do very cool things, like the freaking... Look, dude, would I own, like, 5 freaking Xboxes if I did not like Microsoft? It's not a Microsoft issue. It's a Windows issue. And ultimately, it boils down to usability. It boils down to accessibility. It boils down to just being able to have things work. And Apple's going to wipe the walls with Leopard. They're going to wipe the walls. And anybody who thinks otherwise, honestly, I really lose a great degree of respect for someone who doesn't see Leopard for what it is. I really do. It's not perfect,
Chris,
not by any stretch.
I've run into with Vista. It runs more stable in VMware Fusion on the Mac. You know, like. I guess to each his own, though. Like for because of the different hardware and whatever. But for me, virtual machining, running the Windows and virtual machine on the Mac is what I rather do.
But is that what you want to pay for? Are you going to pay an extraordinary amount of price for something to run in a virtual world where there's simple hardware? If you want to think about it, right, a MacBook Pro or any new Mac model machine is really similar to a virtual machine in the sense that it's one piece of hardware for one specific function. That's it. You can't take the innards out and change it for something else, like
who cares?
Switch it to a different type of hardware.
Who cares?
You can if you want.
Who cares? No, seriously,
More.
I've gotten past the point of caring. That's like me getting a car and saying, "Can I get a different steering wheel?" Honestly, this one's getting a little too old. I mean, I'm past the point of caring. Really. I mean, I've seen enough cheap hardware out there that's ruined my life and my experiences. I just as soon know that what I get is not a blame game. I know I'm dealing with one company, Apple. And honestly, that is peace of mind that I'd pay. Well, I'm not going to pay any more for it, but it's certainly worth paying for.
Obligate.
Anyway.
I don't think that Microsoft wanted to release Vista as soon as they did, but
as soon as they did, it took them 5 years. Wait, what?
Alan,
I know, but
they weren't ready yet.
I know.
That's the problem.
I know. They weren't ready.
Wasn't ready.
And my whole line of credibility, you know, some people have lambasted me and say, Chris, you know, you've gone off the deep end. Vista's fine. You know, we had these problems before.
Oh, yeah.
BS. That is total BS. That is total BS.
Let me get this in. Chris, I do a lot of the comment moderation on Chris's blogs, and ever since he did the Vista Rants video the other night, I cannot tell you how many comments there are over and over and over, and people are like, but Chris, think, XP had these problems when they came out too. No, it did not. Yes, there were issues, but do any of you remember the issues that we have now with Vista? No. I do not recall any of that. Vista, in my opinion, and I would put my MVP on the line any day for this. Vista was not ready. I don't care if it took 5 years. I don't care if it took 10 years. It should not have been released.
No, they
not yet.
Period.
The reason that it was released.
Chris is like, yep.
Every time Microsoft.
That's exactly it. It wasn't ready.
Every time Microsoft put out a press release that said Vista was going to be delayed, their stock price went down. So they decided that it was financially more viable for them to release a shitty product than to keep suffering.
Right. Because now it's financially viable. It's financially viable that I'm switching my entire life from something I've lived in ever since I can remember, the world of PCs, and I'm switching all of that out. I'm tired of it. So what price have they paid? I'm telling you, Mindshare. Follow Mindshare. This isn't just an Apple fanboy, Microsoft hate boy thing. There's some fundamental underlying social structures to the way we work with technology these days that just simply wasn't the case when XP was released. Like I said, you know, we now have a choice, a real, true choice in platforms. And if Microsoft thought they'd be paying less of a price for losing mind share, well, ultimately time will tell. But I'm telling you, Windows is on its last leg. I'm telling you, the only way to run Windows is in a virtual machine or in some kind of safe environment. It's gotten past the point people can't get 64-bit Windows to work worth a darn. I mean, there's issues inherent with that. Apple's about to lap them. They're about to announce, allegedly about to announce 128-bit support. Well, not for the, at least for the, what?
Datalore and I were talking the other night about, the difference between, XP or Vista with hardware compatibility issues, and there aren't any on the Mac because Mac, they come pre-configured, If they did, there were a lot of people asking questions in chat about how come OS X isn't, you're not able to put it on a generic PC. And I believe that it would come prone to the same issues that XP or Vista has with some hardware compatibility issues.
And I think most people would rather go to the store, buy something, know it's not infected with crap on the desktop, and not have to worry about instabilities and all this junk. And I'm telling you, the consumer electronics space and the desktop space is peace of mind is everything. And you know what? I didn't fully understand that until the iPhone. And I'm telling you, it's not perfect, and I'm praying that Apple opens up the platform.
It functions,
but,
it works.
Honestly, I haven't hacked my iPhone. I don't want to hack my iPhone. It worked. It's good. It's changed my whole appreciation for the experience that Apple provides. I don't love it 110%, everything that a company does, but I'm telling you, it's just Microsoft has to get outside their mindset to win this battle. And it's difficult to regain a customer once you lost them, by the way. That's a known fact. It's more expensive.
That's what they should do.
More and more every day, I start thinking about buying more Mac.
And I can't wait. I cannot wait for the next version of Office, Microsoft Office for the Mac. It looks good. It looks clean. But of course, OpenOffice and NeoOffice, they work just as well. Google Docs. Microsoft has to stay relevant in the desktop space, and I don't know if Silverlight's going to be the answer to that question. I really, and I'm not saying that everybody's going to switch to a Mac tomorrow, but I'm telling you, the more issues that Microsoft has with Vista in a public relations sense, I was quoted on NPR, Forbes blog just linked to me on the front page of BBC, because what I'm saying here is, and what we're saying, we're not the oddballs. Maybe we are, but we're vocal enough about it, and we can point to different trends and different blog posts given by Microsoft employees to say, look, we were right. We're not towing the company line. We're just telling it like it is from our perspective in the field.
We're not bashing Microsoft.
No,
by any means.
no.
We just want a good product. We just want a good product.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. That's all we want. That's all we want. That's all we want is a good product. Sorry. Anyway, I realize we've probably ranted on long enough here. Kat, what were you going to say? I'll let you close it.
It wasn't a huge deal. I was just going to say another thing that I've noticed a lot of comments and feedback you're getting is people saying, oh, Chris is an Apple fanboy now. That's what this whole Vista rant is about. And that's not true. And wait a minute, let me finish, Christopher. They say that all the people that rant about Vista and go on and on about Vista being bad are Apple lovers. Well, that's awfully funny because I agree 110% with everything Chris has said tonight. I've never laid a finger on a Mac. I have never used one. Not that I wouldn't love to, but I never have. I am a Microsoft MVP, and I hate Vista. Period. I will not use it yet. End of discussion there.
And I know there's some statistic that I know about, too, about Microsoft MVPs in relation to Vista, but I may kind of be under NDA for that. It's an interesting statistic, to say the least. I'm not going to say anything more.
It is very interesting. There's a lot of people that agree with me. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. I don't know. I realize that I've kind of become the poster child for Vista bashing, and I want it to be good. Here's my open statement to Microsoft. Just, at this point, make it suck less. That's and I realize it's asking for a lot. It's just you can't really make it great at this point. Just make it suck less. And the next time you develop the operating system, remember, user interface first. You know, don't just slap it together because that's part of the experience as well. Backwards compatibility, shove it to a virtual machine. It's going to be time. And the people that don't want it can stick with XP. They can stick with Windows 98 SE. They can flip to Ubuntu for all I care. Shove backwards compatibility into a virtual machine. And then you'll have carte blanche. You'll be able to do exactly what you want to do. And you won't take 5 years to do it. But of course, by then, some of your most powerful voices in the community might have switched.
They're going to have to work really hard to get those.
We're going to be using Macs.
The sad thing is that Microsoft already knows this, and they're already doing this with the server, with Longhorn. They specifically said, we're not going to give any support for all the things that are still running, like NT4 and on 2000. You can just stick it in the virtual machine. We'll give you the virtual machine software for free with the new version of the Windows Server.
Yeah. Anyway,
so they know
sorry.
all these things.
I'm sorry.
They're just... They just don't care about the consumer market anymore. They're just trying to sell copies.
Yes! Sorry!
OEMs.
Yes! 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 Yes!
He's gone crazy.
Don't think
He's gone crazy. He's gone crazy.
Way to go, Alan.
Stop.
It is so
They
true.
see how stupid the average user is, and they know that they'll just buy it because of what comes on the laptop, and they don't know.
Because it's brand new. It's the latest and greatest. It's supposed to be better, and it's not.
Exactly.
I've got my...
There was an email today.
What?
There was an email today. Somebody said they bought a brand new Dell. It came with Vista. They turned it on, ran it for 1 day. It worked perfectly. Went to turn it on the second morning, and it wouldn't work. Spent 4 hours on the phone with Dell, and come to find out, oops, it's a Vista problem. Send it back. We'll send you a new one in 2 weeks. What? Give me a break.
Wow.
So, sorry guys. If anybody sat through this entire video, congratulations, you deserve a medal. It's not just me who has an issue with Vista and that whole world. I know this video is going to get tons of feedback, which is great. I love hearing both positive and negative sides of the story, but more than anything, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Here's the question for everybody: is Windows Vista, if you're using Windows Vista, or you've been operating in the world of Windows forever, is Vista enough of a headache for you that you are considering switching platforms, either to Linux or to OS X? That's what I'm interested in hearing specifically in the feedback. That I think is a very interesting part of the story. So, leave a comment, feedback, whatnot. You can email me, chris@pirillo.com, or you're welcome to stop by the website where we're streaming live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and chatting online, sometimes with voice and sometimes just typing in little words into our keyboards, whether they're connected to Vista computers or OS X, doesn't matter. The chat room's for everybody, anybody. Shouldn't have any compatibility issues. Well, so long as you have the latest version of Flash. There was that. Anyway, so that one website where you guys can find us chatting away, hopefully not as, loud as I was chatting there. Where's that website again, guys?
Pirillo.com. See you later.
Wait, could you say that with a little more energy, and then we can...
Live.pirillo.com.
No, the guys were like, it sounded like they just fell off the turnip truck.
I know.
This is live.pirillo.com.
We didn't want to talk over Kat.
All right, Kat, say it.
So, live.pirillo.com.